Black women are returning to Jamaica in numbers and unapologetically so, and it is being studied. And there are many reasons to this. Let's talk health, economic, all things as to why there is such a huge return. And I am a naturalized Jamaican citizen, having been born in Canada and returned back to Jamaica. Do you know how nice it feels to work with a doctor who looks like you? Now, I'm ready for the comments in the section who are going to say, well, Janelle, the healthcare system in Jamaica is subpar, so on and so forth. And yes, there is truth to that. There is lots of room for improvement here in Jamaica. However, if this exodus of Canadian and Americans continue to come to Jamaica, do you know how that will in fact influence the healthcare system? It's going to have to. It's going to have to raise a standard of the healthcare system in Jamaica because we're going to expect a certain quality of life here. Also, the opportunity to access alternative medicines here. Whether you believe in it or not, Jamaica is huge when it comes to bush teas, when it comes to cleanses. This is something that this country holds dear, and people from around the world are seeking opportunity for them to just get rejuvenated when it comes to health and wellness.
I've packed my bags, I've sold my house, and I'm on my way home to sweet Jamaica. The brain dump is over. We're bringing it all back home. There's no way we can see Melissa take such advantage of our country and don't go back and fix her up. We are never, ever going to abandon our parents. Not a country like Jamaica that gave us so much, or that gives us so much. Pride, joy, resilience, strength, happiness, best food, everything. Guess what? Yeah, man. If you can go back, go back. However you can do. Whatever help you can give. Because Jamaica instilled in us everything that everybody want. And it have a born in you like a true Jamaican. Yeah? So Jamaica, my sweet Jamaica, here I come. 45 years long enough. I'm coming back home.
Wagwan, my Jamaican family, and once again welcome back to Yadi Reacts. If it is for the first time you are checking me out, kindly subscribe, like and share to my YouTube channel. And to my returning subscribers, I do want to say thank you very much for the love and support you are always giving unto me. Whereby today, guys, on to our video, it features these clips from different Black American women as they are sharing out on why they are preferring leaving the United States, going to live in Jamaica. And each and every one of them has got their opinion, mainly because, as I usually tell you, Jamaica is one of the greatest country, and a country, or rather island, that has been blessed with it, natural beauty, sandy beaches, and many more. The vibe in Jamaica, might be the reasons onto why these women are leaving the States, going to live in Jamaica and having a fresh start. So I want you to watch this entire video to the end, and I'll be back with more.
Now, from an economic standpoint, depending on where you work, a lot of us are also seeing that there's great opportunity in Jamaica, because in places like Canada and the US, there is a glass ceiling that looms, especially if you are a Black woman. So if a Black woman is able to bring her skill set, her resources here to Jamaica and build something for herself, there is tons of opportunity, because you're not necessarily going to be chastised based on the color of your skin, but more so on your merit. And then lastly, it's about being seen. It's about every day somebody seeing you, somebody approaching you, saying hello, good afternoon, good morning, looking you in your eyes, acknowledging your existence. I remember the years that I lived in Canada, I would not even talk to my neighbors. The people at the grocery store wouldn't even pay me no mind. There is so many instances that I can go on time and time about how my existence was completely eroded, which then ultimately impacts your self-esteem, it impacts your nervous system. And it's so refreshing to be in a country where no matter where you go, no matter who you are, there is somebody who will see you. And that right there is a huge reason why a lot of us black women, we're coming back.
You know, it's okay if you pack up from foreign and go back to your yard. It's okay. It's okay if you've migrated and you decide that this is not working out. I am going back to Jamaica. Nothing is wrong with that. And we need to normalize people doing that instead of staying in a foreign country and suffer. It makes no sense for us to stay in a foreign country if we're not doing well. And doing well doesn't necessarily mean that you have a house, you have a car, you have a good job. Doing well also means that you're not coping mentally. You're just not happy. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter who you're around. You're not happy. Now, the other day, somebody told me that, you know, somebody that we both know, that person decided to go back home. And I said, good for her. Good for her. Because if you're really not happy here, if you're not getting the kind of job that you want, you come to Canada and you just realize it doesn't matter what you try. It doesn't matter what kind of qualifications you have. You've gotten certified here in Canada. You have your qualifications from back home in Jamaica. Listen, sometimes we have master's degrees and we can't get a good job over here. If you realize that you're not getting back to the status after 4 years, 5 years, the kind of lifestyle that you used to live in Jamaica, you're not able to do that in Canada or the United States, go back home. A lot of us come here and we leave house, we leave car, we left good jobs. Our kids were in private schools, the best of the best in Jamaica. And we come here and we're just not getting that standard of living. Even though you might have a job, you might, you know, be able to buy a house, but that standard of living that you had in Jamaica, that good job that made you feel like, oh, you know, you're actually meeting your targets and meeting your goals in terms of, you know, your career. You have to start all over from scratch. And sometimes even after 4 or 5 years, you're still not there. Let's normalize saying, you know what? There's no shame in it. I'm going to pack up and I'm going to go back to my home country because this is not working out. It's okay. There's no shame in it. Pack up and just go back home. Nothing wrong with it. So pack up and come back home.
8 months ago, I quit my job, packed up my life, and left the US and moved back to Jamaica. A lot has changed, some things haven't, and I figured it was a proper time for a life update. I can't lie, the first few months in Jamaica, I was pretty excited. It felt like an extended vacation with no return flight booked. I was enjoying the freedom, the slower pace, the lack of obligations, especially not having to wake up at 6 a.m. for work. For months, I was basically living like a tourist, and I was definitely living in a bubble for a while. Eventually, that feeling wore off, and it started to feel very real. And I'd be lying if I said I didn't cry a few times. The first thing that hit me was that I didn't live alone anymore, and that's not a bad thing because I could pretty much count on breakfast, lunch, and dinner without lifting a finger. Sounds like the good life I know until I realized how much I was eating. Plus, I needed some variety. Needless to say, I had to start cooking for myself. Another adjustment was my living space. There was nothing wrong with it per se. It was just a little outdated and not quite my style. Since then, it's gotten a lot cozier, but it definitely still has a ways to go. Naturally, everyday life isn't exactly the same. Things aren't as convenient as what I was used to. I had to figure out groceries because going to 7 grocery stores every month was not going to cut it, obviously. So instead of searching far and wide for products that were always out of stock, I imported them from the source. And it's surprisingly not as expensive as you think. So now I do a combination of local and imported grocery shopping to satisfy my wants because depriving myself was never an option. Tried a bunch of new food spots and rediscovered old ones because one thing about me, I'm gonna eat. Recently, I opened my first Jamaican bank account, which was long overdue since Apple Pay isn't widely accepted here. Definitely inconvenient at times. So having Gift Me in the meantime definitely helped out. I also started creating content full time and began putting down roots here in a way that I hadn't before. Don't get me wrong, it's not always great. I've definitely had some reverse culture shock moments. Now,
why you move back to Jamaica, not in there Jamaica? Please stop it. When you see people decide that they want to return home, you don't know what their life was like when they decided to move to big foreign. Some of them realized that they were sold a dream and this is not the right path for them. Realizing that something doesn't work for you and taking action and making a real decision to dial back and then do what I need to do to make my life work for me. That is big. That is bold. We need to applaud people when they realize and find out that something doesn't work for them and they're going to make a change, rather than sit there in silence and because of what people are going to say, they decide not to live their lives the best way that they see fit. If you decide to go back home, I cannot see what is wrong with that. That is your home. Where should you go? When you move to these countries, they make it very clear that this is not your home. So there's no point in time, no matter how you feel comfortable, that you will ever truly feel like this is your home. I just don't get it. It really annoys me. I just saw a video like that, and you people need to stop it. Applaud people, cheer people on when they decide to do things that is best for their lives, or just shut up.
Today somebody said to me, so are you happy to be? I said yes. Yes. Someone said, let me ask you, if I'm happy to be back in Jamaica? Yes. I'm really happy. You must say that is so. I'm happy to be back. Am I as settled as I would love to be? No. But I am much more settled than if I did just come yesterday or today. I love it here. I have absolutely no regrets coming back to Jamaica. And I even said it to him. I said it when I came back, it was the right timing. Perfect timing. Yeah. Me, migrate, me leave Jamaica again, for the start over, and for set up shop, a lie you a tell. Lie you a tell. Alright, so me a stay. Me the day with part me there, and my sister Jamaica going with things, and me not see why I'm supposed to do somewhere else and not enjoy my own country. We're not gonna do that, okay? Foreign and migration of young people. That's for young people. That are for people who never wet them foot outside of Jamaica before. But glad say that was a long time ago. Right now, jam down my thing there, right? Just so. That's the truth.
After living in Kuwait for 6 years and moving back to Jamaica, there were a few things that actually shocked me. First of all, the noise. Jamaica loud, bad. You have about 20 yang a pass, and then you have about 15 bar, and all of them are play 15 different music. Second thing, the pace. Kuwait was very structured and predictable. In Jamaica, you have to learn patience real quick. Thirdly, customer service. Oh my God. I won't even go there. All I can do is hope and pray that one day customer service in Jamaica will improve. Fourth thing, banking service is so slow. I mean, I love the great improvements with the ABMs, but trust me, if you're going to the bank to do business, best believe it's a whole day thing. But one thing I appreciated coming back home was the warmth. People have manners. We still have manners. This was not the case in Kuwait. My Jamaican people are more welcoming, more expressive, and more connected to community. Jamaica's stressful sometimes, but it also feels like home in a way you can never explain.
Okay, so this video is for my Jamaican peeps, those of you who have sense, okay? Not for the ones who need to go back to Jamal. I get a lot of questions of people asking, what is it like living in Canada? Or, you know, do you think it's a good idea for us to move there? And remember, no one should tell you what to do with your own life. You will decide that. But as someone who's lived here for 37 years, the advice I have for you is this. If you are in Jamaica and you have a good job, you own your home, you know, you have a vehicle, whether you are paying for it, you know, through financing, or you own it, it sounds like you have a fairly decent life, if that be the case. But I'm not going to say to anyone who, if there's an opportunity for you to elevate your life and to create, you know, wealth for generations, that you should say no. However, my advice to you is to rent out your house. Do not sell your home unless the home was already teetering on the brink of you losing it. Do not sell your property, okay? Real estate in Jamaica is getting higher and higher, and after a while you will not be able to afford that same house that you now own. So if you get a job overseas, rent it. And I know that can be problematic too, but you know, do your due diligence and rent it, or put it on Airbnb if you have someone you can trust to manage it while you're away. And there are always people who just manage Airbnb, and you pay them to do that. So I wouldn't suggest this, you leave it with family or friends or anything like that. Get, you know, people who are well vetted, who manages Airbnb and things like that. So do not give away shore for onshore. Don't be like the dog who stand over the water or the river or whatever, and because you see the dog has a bone in its mouth, and because he's seeing the shadow with the bone, it lets the one go. Okay, don't give up shore for unshore. All right. Now, I want to say this: big up, big up, big up to my country, Jamaica, and to all the people who over the decades have tried to convince me that Jamaica is a horrible place. Let me tell you something. You are a disgrace. Your mama that gave you her tea, anyway, you know, who fed you from that thing, still lives in Jamaica. You grew up in Jamaica and lived there until you're in your 20s and your 30s. And when look at you now, you're so full of yourself, you know, telling people that they cannot go back where they come from. Now, I know some of you are traumatized. I don't want to ignore that. And if you are, live where you are, be free. But for those of us who live in these parts and understand the truth of what it's like to live in environments where you never feel like you fit in, you never feel like you belong. I'm a Canadian citizen, and listen, in my passport it asks for where my place of birth is. So if that was not important, then I don't know what is. Okay, so it doesn't matter how much Canadian citizenship I get and how long I live here, I will always be considered as an outsider. Okay, get that. Not just be considered, but be treated as one. All right. So if you want to travel overseas, nobody's stopping you, nobody's discouraging you. I'm actually saying to you, if the opportunity comes up and you're in Jamaica and you're struggling, or you know your situation is just up and down and you feel like my life is going to be better, we have the best teachers around the world. So you have teachers and nurses leaving Jamaica to go elsewhere because the people who are in positions of power do not try to capture or hold the people who can really do great for the country. But I'm saying, when you go away and you work for 10 years and 15 years, I guarantee you, I don't care how well or how good you have life, you're going to want to go back to your home. All right. A lot of people say we don't want to go back because of, you know, violence, and if truth be told, it's everywhere. One of the set of Jamaicans who love to talk about what's going on in Jamaica live in New York City, live in Boston, well, not Boston so much, but Detroit, Chicago. Oh, don't make me laugh. Okay, so you're just full of it. Do not let them discourage you. Do not let them discourage you. Do not let family who don't care about you, because the thing is, they know when you come back to Jamaica, they can't use you as their bank machine or the ATM, so they don't want you coming back. They don't care for you. They're not worried about your safety. Listen, I want to say that people from around the world are coming and living there and having a great life. And if you feel that when you come to these parts, you know, you're going to be very happy because the money is just going to be flowing, and if it is, let's just say you're one of the lucky ones and money just come freely and easily, it's still your home. Jamaica is still your home. I'm going to attach a clip at the very front of this. I see, sir, you're looking for attention, and I'm giving it to you. You know, people should live below their means, or in their means, or don't, whatever the story you say. Like you're full of it. I'm not going to stop pushing. I'm not going to stop raising the bar very high. I'm going to go above the glass ceiling that is there. It's a lot of people like you with that mental, that state of mind, why a lot of us don't prosper, because you feel like when we try to size up with people, because that's how you see it, people who are ambitious, they think they're sizing up. Okay, there are a lot of people who are living way beneath their means and work like, I don't know, like a donkey, and still got nothing to show for it. Okay, it's you Jamaicans that I avoid in these foreign parts. A lot of you Jamaicans that I see with this mentality, I just avoid you. But big up for my nice, good Jamaican people who know what it's like to come in here, come into spaces where they sometimes are not welcome, and just do the do. You understand? We keep pushing. We yell and we scream. Hashtag scream if we have to. But we don't give up. We get up and we keep going. And we want the good things them. And we're not going to make people who are worthless and unambitious stop us from having it, because we find out that, you know, we're stuck in some type of loop. The idea is not to quit and not to want less than, but it's to be strategic in your planning, whether you're living overseas or you have plans to go overseas. Okay, don't let anybody discourage you. Okay, that's where you grew up. Some of you grew up in some impoverished neighborhoods and you became something, and all of a sudden the place that nurtured you and the people who loved you are suddenly beneath you. Go away. Go away. When I pick up my lottery ticket, yeah, I'm coming to invest in myself, because I'm not trying to build anybody. I'm over that. I'm coming to have my cake and eat it too.
Welcome back, guys. I hope you have watched this entire video to the end and you have heard whatever the different women accordingly to this video had to say about Jamaica and the reasons on to why they are leaving America to shift and go live in Jamaica. You know, it is by each and everyone's perspective and opinion, you know, and it is by your decision to move from a different country to other different country. As we know, a lot of people usually have got these eager on going to visit countries like the United States, mainly because they are the West countries, and that is, as it is said, these other countries, whenever you visit them, you might get yourself from, you know, maybe being poor or being downgraded. So that's why you'll find out many African people and even the Jamaican and even the Caribbeans usually shift from their motherly countries and going to these West countries. But now the tables have turned in a way that these black people, even whites, but now we're talking about the blacks, these black people are the ones whom are deciding to go out of the states and going on to these Caribbean countries, African countries back. You know, they want to go back home in such certain ways, mainly because it is like they want to have a fresh start. Why would you leave this country whereby you have been dreaming of visiting or going to live there? Mainly because you want to make a bright future of yourself, and now you're leaving. Mainly because each and everything that you was dreaming about to get into this country has turned around. You know, the cost of living is now becoming more higher. The cost of the mortgages that you have to pay on the end of the month are very, very, very much higher. And so compared to these, you know, our motherly countries, you know, yeah, and even the maltreatment from the people onto these West countries, you know, like the Racism Act, you know, it is one of the main reasons why these black American women would get the choice and decide to move from America going back to Jamaica. Despite of not them being all Jamaicans, they are black Americans, but now they are preferring to shift to Jamaica so as they can get a fresh start, you know. Yeah, so I think this is a great decision they have made unto their lives. But is it because Jamaica is a great country? Like, the cost of living in Jamaica is not that high, you know? Is it because of the beautiful sceneries that are in Jamaica? Is it because of the praises that Jamaica has been gaining recently? Is it because it is a global recognized country in the entire world? You know, yeah, these might be some of the reasons that these black American women are deciding to leave America and going to Jamaica. And not only black American women, but even different varieties of people. We have seen even white people shifting to Jamaica so as they can go live in Jamaica. Isn't it just a while ago whereby the Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness signed a treaty with the President of United States, Mr. Donald Trump, allowing 25 of non-Jamaican, to come and live in Jamaica. Each and every 2 weeks of a month, they will be receiving non-Jamaicans, 25 non-Jamaicans. This definitely gives you the reason on to why Jamaica is the most global recognized country in the entire world. And people are in love in this country. Mainly because why wouldn't I be in love with a country whereby you'll find great messages about these countries? People like coming around, you'll get someone from the Arabic country coming around and saying she or he was sick. Like there was a clip where an Arabic woman claimed she was sick and she had to visit a couple of countries in the West, but the illness did got worse. And until she visited Jamaica, her illness disappeared just because of the climate change in Jamaica. Like, wouldn't you love to visit this country? Like, the country itself is just but a healing, When you hear amazing stories about Jamaica, you definitely would wanna visit these countries. That's why, to each and everything that is in Jamaica, it's amazing. Despite of dust, their government bringing them down and lowering their expectation and their standards in another way, in a way that they are giving out their country to the West countries like the China and the United States. This is an amazing island, and that's why you'll find out even some of the Caribbean countries, like feeling that they have got the virtue within them, merely because Jamaica is on the front page and people are loving Jamaica much more, in a way that even people are mistakenly identifying them as Jamaicans, not knowing that in the Caribbean there are other different countries than Jamaica. So guys, I need to know whatever you think and know about Jamaica. Let's share our thoughts through the comment section so we can get to interact and know whatever you think about this video and what might be the reasons for Black American women, shifting from America, going to live in Jamaica. Let's share our thoughts through the comment section, mainly because it is always open for each and every one of you, and mainly because your opinion does matter to us every day. Thank you very much, guys, for following up the video with me. I was your host, Yadi Reacts. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, kindly subscribe, like, and share to my YouTube channel. And to my returning subscribers, I do want to say thank you very much for the love and support you are always giving unto me. Always remember to link me up through my next videos. All I do want to say is peace out there.